name is Hevesh. I go by Hevesh5 on YouTube, and I am a domino artist, which means I set up thousands of dominoes in intricate ways, and then I knock them down to make some pretty awesome chain reactions. And I first started getting into dominoes when I was around 9 years old. I just found a setup at my grandparents' house, 28 pieces. I would set it up, knock it down, and then, eventually that led me to YouTube, where there were tons of amazing videos of people building like the Mona Lisa out of dominoes, or even, giant towers, which kind of inspired me to really start getting into building with dominoes. So, that 9-year-old just got all the dominoes she could, kept growing her collection year after year, making bigger projects. And now I'm actually a full-time domino artist. So companies contact me to build their logo out of dominoes, or do live events, or even do commercials or things for movies. So it's been a pretty wild ride. I'm also making YouTube videos on my channel, Hevesh5, which just reached over 1 billion views, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But yeah, that's what I do.
Just not a full-time domino artist. She's world's #1 domino artist. And hello everyone, मैं हूँ सप्पे भारी आकाश तिवारी, and I don't have any achievements.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Thank you so much, Lily, for coming and joining us. And I just want to ask you, Lily, this is a very stupid question, but I want to ask you, has anyone else confused domino art with Domino's pizza?
That's not a dumb question, first of all. And thank you so much for having me. This is really fun. A lot of people have actually confused what I do with Domino's pizza, because I'll say I'm a domino artist, and they'll think like, oh, so you like make pizza? And I'm like, no, it's like the dominoes that you set up and you knock them down. And I have to like explain that to them. It's actually kind of funny, but yeah, that's happened.
Damn. This is a headline question which we ask to every artist, every sports person, whoever comes. How do you earn and how do you manage your income?
Yeah, so with what I do as a domino artist, I make money in a variety of ways. So YouTube, of course, there's the ads on the videos, and it's a very, very small amount per people watching the videos, but that adds up if you're getting a lot of views. And then companies will hire me to build domino projects for them. So it could be through an agency, it could be directly from the person who wants to purchase giant artwork. I could do the video production for that aspect as well, or I could send over files. My dad is my business manager, so he kind of like does the whole business end of the dominoes, which is really nice, so I can focus more on the creative stuff. But yeah, that's how it works. I mean, it can be, some months can be slower than others in terms of the interest of dominoes, and like especially now, companies aren't really hiring a lot of like excess things at the moment. But I've definitely saved a lot, so thankfully I'm okay right now. But that's kind of how it works.
Dude, your parents are amazing. You're 21, you will be 22 in coming October, and you've been doing dominoes since last 10 years, and your parents are supporting. That's a great thing, because there are a lot of parents who don't usually support such kind of art. What does creativity mean to you?
Creativity for me means kind of just taking a simple idea and turning it into something much larger than it already is. Okay. Like when I go to build a domino project, most of the time, if it's my own personal project, I will not plan it at all. I kind of just go with the flow and see where, I'll start with a simple domino line, and then maybe try to expand that to something more interesting. Like, oh, I could have that maybe curve around, or take that to the next level. Maybe I could use different colors to make a pattern, or maybe turn that into a 3D structure that curves. Every idea, every small thing kind of builds into a much, much more complex type of trick. And that's kind of how I approach it. And whenever I build, like, no two domino setups are going to be the same. Like, even if I try to build the same setup theoretically, there's always going to be a little difference, like where I place the domino. So, I try to not get bogged down in being pushing myself too much, that I'm to the point where I'm like, this isn't good enough. I kind of just have to build and then trust myself, and usually it ends up with
Okay,
something okay.
so tell me, like, how, like, if you go through the process, you said that, you know, just a small idea, then making it a bigger one. So tell me, like, how do you come up with the idea, or how do you come up with a concept? Like, it's like coming up with an idea or a concept, then making it bigger, bigger, bigger. So like,
Right. So I guess there's two different ways. The first way, I do have an ideas list where I like write down stuff. Like things in life just inspire me. Like
you write it
that's like,
anytime? You write it anytime, or it's like just
yeah,
particular time?
anytime. Like it's a little notepad that I have. Like when I see something, for example, this is like really random, but maybe like a chair. I'm just throwing out things. The shape of a chair could inspire me because like there's 4 legs that go down, but then underneath there's just empty space. So how would I make a structure to support the 4 weights? Like something like that. Just like the inherent shape of objects lends itself to different types of domino tricks. Like maybe that would be really good for a 3D structure rather than a 2D structure. Or, you know, other images, like if it's a very complex logo, that would probably be better for a flatter domino field, which is like rows of domino lines where you can change the color to make an image, rather than a more complex 3D structure, which will be more pixelated. So yeah, I guess like when I have that ideas list, I try to find what is the best way to turn that into dominoes, because there's a million different types of tricks of how to build it. You know, I could even try to freehand it by tracing, or not tracing, but recreating the shape almost as if I were drawing with dominoes in a domino line. But when I'm doing a more freeform project and I'm just starting from nowhere, all there is a line, I'll just start with one basic trick. How about a cube? Okay, that's great. I build a cube, and then I think, what's better than a cube? Multiple cubes. Let's do 3 different cubes. Maybe I can put it in a line. Maybe I can make like a diamond pattern with all of these cubes, change the colors, change the size, change the pattern for toppling. You know, maybe they all fall at the same time from different sides of it. Or maybe it's like one after the next, after the next. Like there's just so many possibilities with dominoes. Like I just kind of think of what is possible, and then I narrow down to what I think is the coolest project.
Okay, so okay, let's come to this. Okay, I just saw your recent domino project. It took you 82 days, your new record. It was amazing. Trust me, I've seen that video. It's thrice. My sister loved it. What I want to ask you is, like, it was a freeform project. It was not for a brand. Okay, so you started with whatever you felt like, and you went on. Okay, but how do you decide your limit? Like, after some hours, I'll stop it, or I'll just stop it after this many hours, or this many weeks, or this many days. Like, how do you set a limit, or do you set a limit?
Like a time limit for building?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what's going on at the moment. Like for that particular project,
Yeah.
I knew that I had to go all out with it because it was my new personal record, and I really wanted to take my time and not rush it. So I sort of had to carve out all this time to build it, which took up it was like 3 months.
Yeah.
The whole span of that project, which is the longest I've ever spent on a single project. Like, yeah. Luckily with like COVID and all, I could stay home and like kind of just focus on that, which like it was a good timing to work on a really passion project. But you know, depending on my schedule, I'll lock down maybe like a week to do a project, or you know, it really depends on what's happening and how big the project will take. So sometimes, yes, I should probably set more limits, because like just me, like when I get into a project, I'm like nonstop with it. It's kind of bad. I need to take more breaks. But like there are times when maybe I'll be building like a whole day and I'm just like so tired at the end, like, and the next day is just another repeat of that because I'm building a very specific project with very repetitive motions, and there's not a lot of like creativity necessarily because it's just like you're just building a structure. But yeah, I think it's definitely good to take breaks, like maybe whether that's like in the middle of the day or like cutting off at a certain point so then you can relax at the end of the night. I need to take that advice myself.
What do you do when you don't do dominoes? What do you do when you don't do dominoes?
Yeah, so when I'm not building, I like to go rock climbing.
Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to get better and do harder climbs. I've been going for walks lately, which has been nice to just get some fresh air, spending time with family and friends, that kind of stuff.
Okay. And you listen to podcasts as well.
I do actually, yeah.
I've heard you love Gary Vee.
I do. How did you know that?
I am researching about Dominoes and you for a quite long time. I've gone through all your videos. I told you I've gone through all your videos.
Nice.
Gary Vee is like your no bullshit friend. Like he'll just tell you, do this
Yep.
or you suck.
Yeah,
That's Gary Vee.
he's very straightforward. He like cuts right to the chase and he says exactly what you need to hear at that moment.
Exactly. So the reason I asked you what you do except Dominoes, because what I feel is when you're doing something consciously, when you're learning something, you execute it. But the things you do subconsciously, those things enhance your execution, your project or creativity. So maybe have you ever felt like rock climbing or walk or podcast or anything, whatever you do except for Dominoes has ever enhanced your domino art? I'm just asking. It's fine if
yeah. I don't know if this answers the question, but like when I do those things like rock climbing and going for a walk, it like clears my mind in a way. Like those are my breaks from doing dominoes. So
yeah.
It's kind of a way to like let go of everything, which clears any kind of like creative rut I might be in, I guess. So when I come back to doing dominoes, it's like I feel much more fresh and ready to build.
Oh. So you do go through creative blocks.
Yeah. That usually, yeah. It happens like when I'm thinking way too much about the project and I'm like worrying about how people are going to react to it or if I think it's good or bad or like I should be doing it this way because this way is way better. But it's like, then I get it up in my head and I'm like,
then what
this
happens?
Doesn't matter. Like just start building, just build. You'll do it right. It'll be fine.
Oh, shit. Damn them. I also wanted to ask you, since you said that there was no dictionary definition of dominoes. Am I right? Domino art, there's no dictionary definition.
Previously, yes.
Previously.
I came up with a definition with a few of my friends.
Yes, I saw that. And the reason I'm asking is you wrote in that video that you, together with the Domino community, you came up with a definition. Okay. That's quite difficult, gathering the community and coming up with one single definition, because when you try to get together in a community, it's like usually people's opinion differ because they'll be like, no, the culture is this, then this. So was it difficult?
It wasn't too difficult. So what there was there's this Domino Facebook group where, a lot of these artists, they're just posting their projects on this Facebook page. So I put out a post like, hey, we don't have a domino definition. Let's create one. And, maybe it helped because the group isn't like ginormous. There's just like a few hundred people, but like only a small handful of them actually commented on the post. So, I had like an initial description, I think, and then people like added to that or like suggested their own, and then I combined parts of other people's to make it all better. And then we finally arrived on a definition, which people, they didn't really disagree with. I mean, it's such a new thing. So it was okay.
That's great. That's great. Except for the creative blocks, okay. Like, what are your low moments? What are the low moments which you don't share or what people don't exactly understand about you?
Right. Okay. In terms of creative block or other aspects?
That's the reason I told you. Other aspects, it's fine, except for the creative blocks.
Okay. I would say a low moment, just like generally, could be knowing that you always need to be posting content constantly on every platform, and that like it's kind of impossible to take a real vacation. Like, I don't know, with just being on social media and everything, there's always this like underlying pressure to be constantly making things and looking for what would be good to post on social media, and sometimes that can be really like
exhausting,
heavy, and like it's just like a lot of excess baggage that you always have to constantly be tending to. When like I would, like, if in a perfect world, I would love to just focus on making Domino projects. That's it. And then I'll film the project, one take, upload that every like month, like once a month, you know, because that's how long it could take to make a really, really good project. But in the middle of all of that, I'm also having to like post on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and make a TikTok and like respond to emails and do phone calls and all this other stuff, which like it's a lot for me to manage. Like thankfully my dad is helping with part of the business stuff, but the biggest struggle for me has been like trying to manage all these different types of jobs, and then even trying to hire part-time editors and, you know, people to help with social media. But that in itself is just so complicated and can be very difficult to find the right types of people to help. And yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like I need help. I definitely need help in every aspect of the business, but I don't know if we can hire anyone full-time. So it's like, if I hire someone part-time, are they gonna stick with me, or are they gonna like want to leave in a year? Like, is it worth doing that? Like, you never really know.
But yes, I can understand kind of team member thing, part-time and full-time you're talking about, because I'm going through that same kind of thing, the same kind of pressure. And at the same time, it's dual. Like the one kind of pressure is like, are they going to stick with you for a longer period of time? And then one kind of pressure is like, are you giving them what they actually want? Or are you giving them, are you doing the right thing? And
Right.
the answer, I have not found it till yet. I've not got the
Yeah,
answer
I'm
yet.
with you on that too. Like, it's like figuring out what is that person actually good at, and what do they like, and trying to
Exactly.
tailor that to whatever job needs help, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's hard to tell.
Yeah, and
Sometimes.
this is one more problem, that is key. Whatever you are thinking, or your creativity level, or your vision should match with that person. Because if your vision,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a vision which states something else, and if that person doesn't understand that, there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a
yeah,
big
that's
problem.
that's for sure. And like I'm also like in my head a lot, so I have all these like wild creative ideas and visions. It's just difficult for me to like articulate that into a word sometimes, because it's just like there's so much going on in my head. And like I find that like trying to delegate little tasks for me is kind of a headache sometimes, because I sometimes feel like if I am explaining all of these little tasks, the time it takes for me to explain it and for them to understand it, it's like I could have just done the thing, you know?
Oh, but then you need to delegate some kind of work. So good luck
Yeah.
with that. It's gonna happen. It's gonna go smooth. It's difficult. I know. I can understand
Thank
that.
you. I hope so.
That was your low moment. Okay, tell me one thing which people don't understand about you. People are you usually, there's this misconception, or there's this one thing that people don't understand about you, which you want them to understand.
Hmm. Maybe, I guess, actually, yeah. So like on YouTube, I maybe seem more like extroverted than I actually am,
Yeah,
which
I
like
can feel that.
yeah, but like I didn't want that to like happen. It just kind of happened, I guess. I have this theory on YouTube where like well, just some backstory. I started completely anonymous, so I didn't show my face. I didn't talk for like 6.5 years until I did a face reveal. But I have this theory that like once you start putting yourself online, like your first few videos are like 100% authentically you, because you're just like talking. You just don't really know what's going on until you get to the point where you become more aware of the person who's watching your content. And
Oh,
I remember like having this thought, like watching my older videos, like, wow, Lily, you look so angry. Why don't you like smile more or whatever? Just like things like that. So like you start slowly incorporating more of that, but and also just becoming more comfortable talking to a camera, which
okay.
like sometimes it like pushes me to like be more excited about Dominoes, because I want my audience to be excited about Dominoes. Like, this is so
Oh,
cool. Like, like this is fun. Like we're
So
building stuff, we're
technically,
knocking it down.
even though you're calm and composed, you need to be excited for the video. So that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's just like I'm trying to bring energy to the video, which like it's not that it's not me. It's like the most extra or not like extra. I don't know.
It's the exterior
It's
version.
like yeah. It's like when you go on stage and you're like talking to an audience, it's like kind of that version.
Got it. It's like a kind of presentation, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, but like my real me is much more like calm on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I got it. I understand. Every field has some kind of training. I don't know what exactly is what I mean to say, suppose if you're a dancer or if you're a musician, okay, you need to practice those ragas. If you're a dancer, you need to practice few grooves or you need to do exercise or something. So is it something there in Dominoes as well, which made you so comfortable and good at so many pieces, so many colors, or is there something with you in Domino?
I see. I would say, I guess a trait, like persistence is probably a big one.
Okay.
Like if you're able to set up a line, have that fail by accident because you knocked it over when you weren't supposed to, and then have the persistence to just keep trying, keep building, that trait alone is going to help every single domino builder like immensely. And I've learned that a lot through Dominoes too. Like I first started, I would like quit. I'd have to take some breaks, but then I always came back to it. I always came back no matter what. I tried again. And that's kind of like what helped me through with Dominoes. But like in terms of building the projects, it just came from a lot of experimentation, like seeing how tricks work, seeing how dominoes move and fall and slide on each other, and re-engineering things if it didn't work, doing a lot of tests. I also watched a lot of YouTube videos. I'll kind of like analyze videos, and like I remember like screenshotting videos, zooming in on Microsoft Paint to see how a structure was made, and then kind of just copying that and figuring out things on the spot. So there's a lot of like just general experimentation out of pure curiosity.
What is STEAM? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with STEAM? STEAM education.
Sure. Yeah, STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics. And, with Dominoes, there's a really clear alignment with STEAM, and it's becoming more popular, in school systems as well to like kind of get kids into, technology and science. So like with Dominoes, what's really cool is it balances not only the art side of things, but also the more technical engineering side. Because like you're learning about physics, you're learning about motion, you're learning about how things topple over and affect one another. Teaching you like design skills, how to be creative, using computer programs with the dominoes to make complicated images. There could be a lot of STEAM elements that you learn through Dominoes, and I think it's just such a great way to teach young kids about these subjects in a more fun and playful way, where they're actually using their hands and getting involved in things rather than just staring at screens all day. So we're really trying to push the more educational side of Dominoes. And hopefully once the world opens up again, we can do many more workshops and teach people how to build.
Yeah. How did you become world's #1 domino artist? Is it because you're doing it for the longest period of time, or is it because how did you got that title? Did you plan it? Did you strategize it? Ki I'll do this thing and then I'll become world's #1 domino artist, or is it just because you're doing it for the longest period of time? How did you become that?
Yeah. So, well, like I still feel weird calling myself the #1 domino artist. Like that phrase is simply based off of views and subscribers. So like I have the most views and subscribers online out of other domino artists, and I was recommended to start using that phrase by marketing people. Like
that's what I'm saying.
I totally
you have used that phrase too.
Yeah, I understand full-heartedly. Like it's totally subjective. Like it's an art form, so you can't really place like, oh, she's #1 or he's #1 or like blah 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 blah. Like everyone has their own preference. It's not really based on like the actual art. that phrase is just based on statistics. So
Okay. Okay. So don't you feel that complexity if you ever meet some other kind of other domino colleague or friend, builder, domino builder, and then you're like, they announce you as that number one domino artist, and you're like, have you ever felt like that complexity?
yeah, I mean a little bit, but like I would hope that they do understand it's just like it's statistics. Like
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So yes, that's it. I think so. I've asked a lot of questions and I took a lot of time. Is there something I missed, or do you want me to add something? Is there something I missed?
Um Oh, we could talk about my new domino set that just came out.
The Hevesh fire, H fire?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. So I actually know that you went to a lot of toy companies and you made a deal, right? That was the story, or what was the story
Yeah.
of that H5?
Yeah. So I've been wanting to make dominoes, proper toppling dominoes for quite a while. And this was like 3 years ago. My dad and I were talking to all these toy companies to see who wanted to partner with us and make our own line of dominoes, because other types of dominoes, we've noticed some issues with them where the color might be changing from batch to batch, or the surface texture would change. It would be more slippery one time, and then another batch you buy, it's like much more grippy. So we wanted to kind of standardize dominoes and make a more proper toppling domino that's designed by the domino community for domino artists. So we partnered with Spin Master. They're a toy company who, you might have heard of them. They also make the dotted cardinal dominoes. So it's like, oh, they're familiar with dominoes. This is cool. But now we're doing toppling dominoes. And we've been working with them to design and create, manufacture, and distribute all of these H5 domino creation sets, which the set comes with like 100 dominoes in red, white, blue, yellow, plus a few different accessories that I've designed. So there's like a half bridge, field starters, a template that helps you space the dominoes. Kind of looks like a comb. So you put the dominoes in
I saw
comb.
the domino template too. I saw the domino template too.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's like the starter set to get people into dominoes. And now, back in August, they were officially launched at Walmart. So like in stores across the USA and Canada, as well as on Amazon. I believe they should be in India eventually.
Okay,
I'm not quite sure.
I didn't search for them, but I saw that it's available on Amazon. I just saw that. Yep, let's hope. I'll buy it and then I'll tag you, and I'll post the story and then I'll tag you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're hoping to get it more globally distributed, but that'll come in time. But that's been super exciting.
That's a great thing, having something on your name at this age, dude. If my mom sees this podcast, I'm doomed. I'm sorry, mom, because I'm 22 as well, and I don't have anything to say. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, Lily. I just want to know, how did you feel this podcast? Was it good? I just want your authentic reviews. Was it good? Did I miss something? How did you feel?
This was a really great podcast. Like, to be honest, this could be one of my favorites that I've done, because you bring a lot of great energy to the table, make me feel very comfortable talking about like other things. So I think it went really well.
Okay, thank you so much. I think this is my exterior step for doing this podcast. But yes, thank you so much, Lily, for joining us. And I love, it's not because I'm just doing this podcast with you, but I genuinely loved your art. Trust me, I didn't understand why people called this satisfying videos and stuff, because I'm not a Domino fan. Like, I'm an art fan, but usually I don't watch Domino videos. But once I started that one video, the 82 days work, that's, I think so, 8 minutes or 10 minutes video. I don't know. I saw it, and then after that I saw so many of your videos, and it was like just clicking next, clicking next, clicking next. Then I saw the Collateral Beauty one with Will Smith. Then next, Jimmy Fallon next. Then some other kind of thing, and it was like just clicking next. So it's amazing. I loved it. I didn't know why they called it satisfying videos, but once I started doing it, it's like you just keep watching, and the noise itself, the noise also, it's amazing.
Yeah, you can't stop watching once you start. It just goes on and on.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I loved your reactions in the failed domino self. Like
Oh yeah.
the authentic. I'll recommend that just do a compilation of your like fuck up moments. Like your reactions are amazing. I just love them. So just do it. I'm telling you, it's gonna go. It's gonna be great. Just compile it. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So that's
Okay,
a
I'll keep that in
completely
mind.
different self which I want to see. I'm telling you, the tower fail and everything. Just compile those reactions. People would love it.
For sure, for sure.
Yes, and yes.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, love from India, and just just keep doing it. Just keep doing. I loved it. I loved your
Yes.
answer. Yep.
Keep on building.
Yes, keep on building. And I hope next time I am doing this podcast, I'll be there, or you are in India. Just let's hope
Yeah,
that.
I'd love to visit sometime.
Okay, fine, fine. Thank you so much, Lily. Thank you so much.